Hey guys, I'm Sean,
And I'm Jim.
and today we are doing a chicken carbonara. It was a request, and so we're doing it.
Yeah.
Chicken carbonara. I think eventually we were going to get to it anyways. I think it was on the list to eventually do anyways. It got bumped up because people wanted it. So
Yeah.
um, today we're making chicken carbonara. We're going to start with Jim's video since we started with mine last time, and yeah, let's just hop right into it and let's see what he
All
did.
right. Okay. This started out as a 1 pound, almost exactly a 1 pound chicken breast. I was taking off some extra fat because, yeah, there's some flavor in the fat, I'm, but what I'm going to do is bake this. I really didn't want that extra fat in there. And of course, 1 pound was plenty to feed everyone. I realized that it's easier just to trim off the extra piece and make it look a little bit better. Just things like that. I'm certain that you probably would have done the same.
No, I would have left it.
Well, that's stuff on.
Yeah, I would have just cooked it.
Hmm. Of course, now I'm going to go and wash my chickeny hands before I pick up anything else.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
only
to be
problem
expected.
about that's the only problem when dealing with chicken or poultry, and you're using your hands without gloves. You've got to maintain proper sanitation the whole time.
I agree. It's really hard not to cross contaminate, anyways. When even with gloves, honestly, because you go to pull the glove off and you can so
Yeah,
easily accidentally touch the wet surface of the glove.
yeah. So here's just a
So,
slight drizzle of olive oil,
hmm
and then we'll put some seasoning. Not much seasoning at all on this. Just some Italian seasoning, followed by some lemon pepper, because Val likes lemon pepper chicken. I thought it'd go good. I didn't bother salting this down overnight or anything because, quite honestly, well, chicken's tender to begin with, and number two, carbonara has a lot of salt thanks to the cheese involved,
yeah,
the pecorino and the parmesan. In fact, the only
pecorino.
extra pecorino rather, not pecorino, pecorino. The only salt that I used was I did salt the mushrooms a bit when I was sauteing them just to help them cook down better. But I didn't even salt my pasta water.
Wipe your stove off, man.
Oh, come on, we have been. The oven needs to be cleaned, but no, the stovetop's been cleaned.
No, the outside, the front of the door. Look at all that.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. 10 minutes in, I put this into a 400-degree oven. After 10 minutes, just going to turn it over, just going to flip it. I'm not worried about it being done yet. There's no way it's going to be done yet.
You didn't season both sides of the chicken?
No, I should have, and I didn't. No, this cook was, yeah. Now I can't get what's supposed to be used, and in fact, the pancetta that they had is just extremely thin strips. So I went with extra double thick bacon, a half pound. I went with pepper
That looks
bacon.
good. That looks really good.
Yeah, I went with
It's what
pepper
I would have done
bacon.
too, and it's what I did do. I mean, I didn't get pepper bacon, but I just went with bacon.
Yeah. Well, the carbonara needs to have a lot of pepper in it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just how it works. And that's into just a normal stainless steel pan. I use stainless steel for this because I want the font.
Fair enough.
Cast iron would have been fine too, but trying to get fond in a well seasoned cast iron pan is like trying to get fond in a non-stick pan. Not going to happen.
No.
So for something like this, stainless is the way to go. And
Yeah, I
here
mean,
it's
you're not
just
going to get much fond anyways, cooking it from a cold pan like you did, which is
that
what you
wasn't
are
a cold
supposed to
pan.
do. Oh, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't cold. I was gonna warm up first.
Yeah, you're supposed to start with a cold pan.
Yeah.
It renders more
Now,
fat that way.
yeah. Now here I had two whole eggs and two egg yolks.
Okay.
I'm using
I used a different ratio than you. I used a 3-to-1.
okay.
Three
Yeah,
three
so,
whole eggs, one
I've
yolk.
done that before. Then I'm
Yeah.
adding in 50 grams of the pecorino. Add exactly 50 grams in that container. Now another 50 grams of Parmesan,
What'd you find already shredded pecorino?
grated, yes. And it's
Wow.
high, it's quality, as it turns out.
I wasn't able to locate anything like that. I had to grate my own.
Okay, now here I'm just checking for consistency.
Uh-huh.
And it's a little bit thinner than I wanted, so I added the rest of the Parmesan. So I came up to about 125, a total of 125 grams of cheese.
Hmm.
I possibly could have gone up to 150 and been okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now I'm coming in, checking the temp. It's been in here for another about 15 minutes at this point, and I'm getting the I'm coming in at about 170, which is fine. Anything
Yep.
over 165 is good.
Yep.
It didn't go up over that.
You probably
Uh,
carried over to 180 after you pulled it
yeah,
out.
yeah. But when I was temping it, I was seeing 170 to 175.
Yeah,
So I figured, hey, that's great. But it was still juicy.
that's good.
Yeah, it was still nice
By
and
the time
tender.
knowing that it probably got to 180 with carryover, it does make me worry about the juiciness. But I like a
Stay
wetter
there.
I like a wetter piece of chicken than you. So
Yeah.
as
And
you know,
as you see, the my bacon is crisped up now nicely.
why is the
But
bacon coming out?
you'll see because I'm going to use that same pan and that grease to saute my mushrooms.
Oh, that's right. You had mushrooms in yours. I didn't have any mushrooms in mine.
Yeah, I got a package of shiitakes there.
Shiitakes instead of creminis. That's interesting.
Well, it's a matter of what size packages I could get. I could get the pre-slice in either 8 ounces of cremini or 5 ounces of shiitake. I could not get small creminis that were whole.
Hmm. Gotcha.
So I didn't want to overload it.
No, and it would have been easy to do.
Exactly.
I like this
And
choice of adding some mushrooms though. I would have gone
yeah,
cremini, but I do understand why you didn't. You're salting the mushrooms.
right.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it just helps them to cook down. That's the only extra salt I used in this entire dish.
Yep.
And now I just stir them up, let them start sauteing a bit, keep an eye on them. I'm multitasking as much as I can here.
Yep, I was doing the same thing. I had my bacon frying, my chicken frying, and
Yeah,
my pasta boiling all at the same time.
yeah. Now I'm using about a half box. In this case, that's about a half pound of fettuccine, not fettuccine, linguine.
Linguine, okay.
Yeah, I had some thin spaghetti, but I think a larger pasta works a bit better for
I
this.
agree. I have just regular spaghetti in mine, but it was only because I didn't have any spaghettoni handy. I would have used
Right.
spaghettoni.
I've done that
Ideally,
before.
I would. Yeah,
And the one thing I'm not
ideally,
going
I
to
would have used
use,
spaghettoni.
yeah. Now, one thing I'm not going to use is fresh pasta because I've actually a couple of videos where it doesn't have the same texture and taste when it comes to carbonara. Here you see
No,
the chicken. It's
that chicken is shredding. That's a little too dry for me. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
but
little.
once the sauce was on it, it tasted good.
I'm sure it
Flavor was
tasted
there.
great. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think it might have dried out a tiny bit with the carryover, but
yeah,
otherwise it was about right. And when I taste tested, and in fact, when Randy did, yeah, that chicken was good. As you can see, the mushrooms cooked down nicely.
hmm
Bacon goes back in.
it looks like the mushrooms absorbed all your oil though,
Yeah, which is
which
what they'll
is
do.
kind of a problem though because did you add oil back in?
Well, take a look.
Okay, because you need oil to emulsify your sauce.
There, right. The pasta water.
That still doesn't emulsify your sauce for you
It,
though.
it does the job. That's all you need. You don't need oil. You
Okay.
don't need oil or cream or anything. If you notice, it's
Well,
deglazing
cream,
the pan.
no. Cream's a hell no. But
You don't need oil either. Just pasta water. That's what you want to
okay.
use. Is that starchy pasta water. If you notice, it started to deglaze the pan nicely.
Yeah.
And
Now is
I'm
your
just
pan
taking,
off for this?
I got down on low now.
Okay.
Lowest heat I got. And I'm just taking the pasta straight from the pan.
Yep.
Of course, with tongs, there's always those few strands that you have to get one at a time.
Sure.
There's the carbonara sauce going in. You see, I've got nice thick paste. That could have been even a little bit thicker and been okay, but this is about right.
Mm-hmm.
And now as I start stirring that in with the tongs, you'll see that's going to smooth out and become a nice creamy sauce. I'm going to speed through this because it takes a bit just to mix it in thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd already see it start to
Yeah, it's turning
smooth up.
now. It's turning right now. There it goes. It's going off
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yep.
That cheese is melting just like it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can see it there against the bottom of the pan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drag that over so you can see it better. Right there. That is a good carbonara sauce.
It is.
And
Looks good.
the eggs did not scramble. There's no reason to have scrambled eggs when you do it like this.
No.
If I didn't have enough, I was more concerned about using too much water and too low, so that's only put in like half a ladle. Turned out
Yeah,
that was about the right amount.
I actually let my pan almost start to cool down. I turned my fire off and let my pan start to cool down, and I just used the residual heat just from the pasta to set my sauce, and it works fine too.
Yeah, but on mine, the flame goes very low. It's just enough to keep just a barest heat on it. And that
Makes
worked
sense.
out. Now everything's mixed in. Add more pepper,
Mm-hmm.
since it's hard to get too much pepper on carbonara.
And I agree. What's missed on mine is us adding more pepper and cheese to our carbonara at the end.
Yeah,
After it's been bowled up, we added more to our plates.
yeah, and I couldn't add
But
more cheese because I used it all. So that was it. Go ahead and back that up a tiny bit and show that final pan. That's chicken, or my version of chicken carbonara.
very nice, very good. I don't have very many critiques.
Oh, by the way, one good thing about it, surprised the hell out. It's just surprised the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle had a plate and loved it. She came back to my office and started raving about it. And if you know anything about Michelle, you know that she will rarely ever eat anything that anyone else cooks. If it's not from the microwave that she doesn't eat.
Oof. Yeah, I don't have too many gripes here. I would have turned the stove off all the way. And then I thought your chicken looked a little suspect on two fronts. One, the seasoning not going on both sides of the chicken, and then also you took it a little bit took it a little far for me, temperature wise. But that's a personal gripe. That is not a technical error.
Yeah, I was going to say, Val and I both like it. We'd rather have our chicken be a little bit over than under.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was just pointing out.
Not just for safety reasons. We don't like chicken that, even at 165, where everyone says, yeah, it's done. Mm-hmm. We like it a bit more.
Yeah, for me, once it passes that 170 mark, it's dry. But that's a personal gripe, not a technical error. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and get mine going here.
But overall, I was really pleased with how it's turned out. This isn't the first time I made the carbonara. I've been making it for some time now. So that's just the basic technique that's been working for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks good. It looks quite good. All right.
And today I am going to be making a carbonara. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a twist on carbonara. It won't be traditional with guanciale. Unfortunately, guanciale is not super easy to come by where I'm at. So,
$35
nice
a pound.
Bacon. And we're also.
Well, it wasn't even the price. If I could have found it, I would have used it. I couldn't find any.
Even if I could find it, I wouldn't pay that price.
On top as kind of a. We're going to be adding some katsu chicken on top. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to get started on is the chicken, since that takes the longest. And
if I could have found some slab pancetta, I would have.
Yeah, I mean, if I could have found thick pancetta, I probably would have done that too, but I couldn't.
Chicken.
Chicken breast or chicken thigh?
It's chicken breast. I butterflied it already.
So we're gonna take our cling wrap
I
here.
didn't think that the people needed to see me butterfly a chicken breast.
Right.
And we're using the cling wrap so that we don't splash our juices all over the kitchen.
No kidding.
Drape that over nice and well, and then we're just going to just absolutely annihilate this chicken. And by pounding out this breast, we can ensure that we get a nice, even consistency.
Anger issues?
Okay.
No, I just want it all even. Look how flat and even that is.
Yeah.
And get some nice salt and pepper on it. And then I'm going to take this knife. This is the knife that I separated it with as well, guys.
I figured the knife setting on the side of the sink, I would explain why that was there and why, you know what I mean? That's all.
And I'm going to go ahead and just finish this cut.
I'm not just grabbing random knives off the side of the sink and using them.
Right.
There's two of us eating.
That'd be a sanitary issue.
With this being for a pasta that also contains bacon, there's already quite a bit of salt on. I mean, quite a lot of meat in here. So we're just gonna go that route.
Yeah, where's the meat? That
Wash
fat
my
isn't
hands.
appealing.
I just touched raw.
See, to
chicken.
me, I'm frying the chicken, so I don't care.
And then we're gonna get that chicken, the other side of that chicken seasoned, and we're gonna also get our eggs and our flour seasoned. First off with the chicken, just gonna get some pepper ground over it. Some salt. And we're gonna get those same things in our flour and eggs. Just lightly seasoning it.
Oh, you found the time-lapse button.
Yeah. Figured it would save a little bit of time. I actually used it a lot in this video because there's a lot of it just me grinding salt and pepper.
So you went with only 2 eggs?
For my dredge for my chicken, yes.
Oh, okay.
Now this is gonna be
I'm making katsu chicken. It's Japanese fried chicken.
Okay.
seasoning, coating. First into the flour, get a nice coating on. Out of the flour, into the eggs. Out of the eggs, into the panko.
So much for dry hand, wet hand.
When you're doing 2 pieces of chicken, it doesn't fucking matter.
All right, so we got our chicken breaded up and coated here. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna shallow fry these.
I may have overpoured my oil a little bit because
fries,
I underestimated how much the chicken itself would raise the level of the oil. That's why it's so deep now.
I'm not a big fan of
starting with a cold pan,
shallow frying like
as much
that.
fat as possible.
Just because what do you do to save the
And
oil?
we're just gonna get all that bacon in there.
I'm just putting it back in my fryer.
Ah.
While we do that,
You know what I mean?
we're gonna also ensure that we have
It's still good
water
oil.
boiling, which
So.
I'm sure you can see it back there on the back burner that it is.
I'm sure you can see it's still nice, clean oil.
We haven't added salt yet, so we're just gonna get.
You're not going to
pasta
salt the
water, sea
bacon.
salty.
No.
Okay.
We're going to salt the pasta water.
Yeah, and I've stopped doing that for carbonara just because there's so much salt in the cheese.
Your pasta needs salted. I mean, your pasta water needs salted.
Okay, salt in there.
I don't care if I'm putting the pasta in a salt sauce.
Okay, guys.
And salting my pasta water.
While the camera was off, we went ahead and let our chicken cook for a while, bacon cook for a while. Our pasta water is now boiling. Remember, that is sea salty. We poured a bunch of salt in there before. Well, not a bunch of. Poured the appropriate amount of salt in there before we turned the camera off. And now we're just going to get two servings of pasta in here. A serving of pasta is typically the amount that is between your thumb and forefinger. That's typically the appropriate amount. Some of them broke. All right, now we got to get these snack. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I was gonna
We're
say
just gonna put those in the right way.
that was gonna
Not
be a
break them in
high.
Did I get you?
Like I said before, guys, we have
People,
some
you
eating,
do not
so
break
we're gonna
spaghetti.
get 2 servings of pasta in here.
Did I get you?
I'm starting to wonder
All right,
about you,
and let's go ahead
Sean.
and check on our chicken. See how it's doing. That bacon has been turned off. Hazards of cooking.
Yeah, that is one of the occupational hazards of
I'm
shallow
gonna let that
frying.
go just a little bit longer.
Is that what you're trying to put
And
flop back
the
down?
thing we have to do while the chicken is frying,
Yeah.
the bacon is cooling a bit in the pan, and the pasta is boiling, is we have to get our pecorino and egg slurry made up. So the first thing we're gonna do, I use whole eggs. Sometimes I'll use eggs. I use whole eggs and I use egg yolks. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grate a healthy amount of the pecorino romano in with our eggs.
A healthy amount is right. It takes.
I need some more cheese, but I'm gonna go ahead and get my pepper in while I can still see straight.
Let's see how thick your paste comes up.
It could have been thicker.
That's about right. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, so our pasta is done.
It could have been thicker, but it's fine.
Our
Worked great.
bacon has efficiently cooled. We're gonna go ahead and get all of our pasta loaded into the skillet now.
And I actually didn't add any pasta water at all to this.
And
Beyond
as soon
what
as
transferred over
we
in.
get all the pasta in, the next thing we're gonna do
Because there's oil oil from
is
the
we're gonna
bacon
get
in
our
there
slurry in
still.
right away.
Right.
Remember, depending
Probably
on
about that much oil in the bottom of the
temperature
pan.
of that pasta,
Yeah, and
cook our eggs.
and with the
So we don't
carbonara
end
being
up-
that thin, you wouldn't want to add any more water to it.
No. No, I ended up with a really good sauce.
So we don't end up with, we got to keep this moving as quickly as we can, and it's so that we don't end up with scrambled eggs and pasta. This is how our pasta sauce gets incorporated, just like this.
Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
like
move
I
this
said,
around.
a
We're just gonna
little
keep
bit
it
long
moving.
before you're stirring it
The egg is
around.
going to get cooked slowly.
I couldn't find my tongs. I lost them for a second. And I had 10 pairs of my nice tongs
and creamy.
in the dishwasher, which was running in the background.
Ah,
So I was left with those dinky things that I hate.
I'm just going to keep this
mise en
moving
place.
around.
But this,
Mise en place.
All right.
In any
our
case,
carbonara,
I'm sure you can see it was nice and
everything is
creamy.
combining in the
Yeah.
oven. Chicken is nice and juicy. Hear that nice crunch.
And for some reason, I didn't
Chicken is
think that
nice
fried chicken was the
and
right way to
moist.
go.
We don't eat fried
with that-
chicken in this
with
house.
A crunchy exterior.
It's really good.
Oh,
Really
it's
good.
certainly was. It just didn't seem appropriate for
We're
me.
gonna spin this as much as we can.
I'm sure you can see it's nice, creamy sauce.
Yep.
Made its way in there. You can see it kind of in the bottom of the pan there.
Yeah. Yeah. The only critique I would have on that was that the sauce was a little bit too thin.
Yeah, but it was creamy.
What size breast is that you started out with?
It was a large breast, but I cut it in half.
Yeah, I saw you butters.
And there it
That's
is. Chicken bacon, pasta carbonara, or spaghetti carbonara. Chicken bacon, spaghetti carbonara. And this is absolutely delicious.
Good grief, Sean.
Awesome. So,
Right. Yeah,
Hey man,
I
I
do
was
wish I'd
getting
played mine up.
I was getting in there, man.
Yeah, you were.
You got to get in there for your own food, man.
Well, yeah,
That's all
other
there is
than,
to it. But
well, like I said, I'm not surprised at all. We both did pretty much the same thing, other than the way
yeah,
we treated the chicken. No
yeah,
surprise there.
yeah.
Oh, I hope Hammer enjoys one of these. I
I
suspect he'll go
definitely
with the fried chicken.
I definitely think the katsu chicken is a better option than the baked chicken, especially the seasoned on one side baked chicken.
Well, yeah, but what I was thinking, I was thinking about frying and what I was going to do, and no, the baked chicken just seemed to be more appropriate for an Italian dish.
Honestly, if I was gonna not bread it, then I would have just grilled the chicken. I would have just sautéed it. I would have just put it on the flat
Yeah,
top and cooked it with a weight on it and got a nice like kind of a barky exterior on the chicken
yeah, I
and,
could
and,
have
a,
done
and a
that.
nice sear on it because that would have given you more flavor. I mean, I always tell people that the oven never generates flavor. If you don't get the Maillard
No,
effect, then the actual cooking process didn't add any flavor.
right.
And baking chicken does not give you the Maillard effect. So baking chicken leaves your chicken with as much taste as it has had before it went in the oven. That is all
Yeah,
there is to it.
so I did miss an opportunity there to just fire up the griddle.
Yes, the griddle would have been significantly better. I
Could
think
have put
that
some char marks on it and so
yep,
forth.
yep. In the end, I think baking the chicken there was the least flavorful option available. Let me put it like that. Out of every option you could have went with, you could have
Yeah,
seared the chicken, you could have fried the chicken, you could have grilled the chicken. Hell, you could have smoked the chicken, and all of those would have added way more flavor than just baking it. So
well,
that's my major critique.
well, maybe I'm wrong, but I mean that baking it like that for some reason that just felt like the most natural way to do it for carbonara.
Well, probably because carbonara is an easy kind of fast dish that you make, and baking
Yeah,
it is the easiest way to cook a piece of chicken.
exactly.
So it's probably because the difficulty levels ended up being the right amount. It
Yeah,
seemed like, I guess, but no,
and as it
I think
was,
you made a
this took
mistake there.
and as it was, it took a lot longer than it should, like than what it normally does because of the camera
Yeah,
work and such.
yeah.
Normally I get that done 15, 20 minutes tops.
I had a
But
cameraman, but I still was done in 20 minutes flat,
yeah, I was
and that
over
includes
45
frying the
minutes.
chicken.
Yeah. I took a little over 45 minutes or so, and Val was already hungry. She was starving. She thought it'd
Oh,
be
geez.
ready a lot sooner.
Well, she should work the camera for you, and you'd get done faster. Tell her that.
Yeah, you tell her.
I'll
I'll
tell
duck.
her. I
Yeah,
don't
you
care.
tell her and I'll hide.
I'll tell her I'm in Ohio. I can tell her. She can't hit me from here.
I'll give her Chris's address or phone number.
Chris will laugh her off the phone.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that was our chicken carbonara. I don't know what we're doing next. We
I don't
haven't
know
really
either.
thought about it, other than maybe
No.
cube steak.
Maybe cube steak. I
That's the
think
only thing we've talked about.
yeah, cube steak. The problem with cube steak is I don't think it gives us very many opportunities to have differences.
Well, there's
There really
three.
is so few options to
Yeah,
change,
it
you know,
was.
to make changes.
Well, yeah, because there's three primary options. You chicken fried steak, of course.
Right.
Then you've got Swiss steak, and then you've got
Yeah, but in the end,
some,
you know that we would both end up taking the chicken fried steak. I'm sure we both
eh,
would. I know that I would.
and and knowing that I would probably take one of the others to make it different.
That's fair. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll announce it on the Facebook page later on today after we've had a little bit more time to hash it out, and we'll let you guys know there.
Okay, that wraps it up for now, I think.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Come back for the next one and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
guys.
hit that like button. Asta.